Hey there, I'm Hank, and welcome to FactJoy. So let's talk about something that's probably been lingering in the back of your mind, maybe like a half-forgotten browser tab COVID. It feels like we've moved on, or at least tried to, but viruses, well, they don't really check our social calendar to see if we're done with them. The big question we're tackling today is, what if COVID makes a significant return in 2025? It's not about fear-mongering, it's about being smart, prepared, and, dare I say, a little bit scientific about how we approach the future. Because here's the thing, preparation is power. It's the difference between reacting in a panic and responding with a plan. And that's exactly what we're going to equip you with today. We've dived deep into the data, the projections, and the practical wisdom learned over the past few years to bring you 7 essential hacks and facts. These aren't just random tips, they're actionable strategies designed to keep you and your loved ones safer and more secure if things get a bit, viral again. From life-saving tips to some pretty shocking stats that might just change how you see things, we're here to help you stay ahead. This is Hack and Fact by Hank, and our goal is simple, to arm you with knowledge. Because understanding the why behind the what to do makes all the difference. We'll explore potential new variants, the importance of a well-stocked pantry, beyond just toilet paper this time, I promise, the lingering shadow of long COVID, and some surprisingly simple ways to boost your defenses. So, grab a metaphorical or real cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get ready together for whatever 2025 might throw our way. Alright, first up, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the microscopic spiky ball that just won't quit, new variants. It's the nature of viruses, especially RNA viruses like SARS-CoV-2, to mutate. Think of it like a photocopier making copies of copies. Eventually some errors or mutations creep in. Most of these changes are duds, they don't do much, or they even make the virus weaker. But every now and then, a mutation or a collection of them gives the virus an advantage, like being able to spread more easily or to sidestep some of our immune defenses. So, for 2025, let's imagine a scenario with a hypothetical variant, we'll call it LP 8.1 for our discussion. Based on current evolutionary trajectories of viruses, it's plausible that such a variant could become dominant. The key concern with new variants is often their transmissibility. If LP 8.1, for instance, turns out to be, say, 20% more transmissible than even the highly contagious Delta variant, that's a significant jump. It means the virus can spread more efficiently from person to person, potentially leading to faster, wider outbreaks. This isn't just a numbers game. It has real-world implications for how quickly our communities could be affected, and it underscores the need for vigilance. What does more transmissible actually mean for you and me? Well, it could mean that casual encounters become riskier, or that the measures we used before, like basic masks or social distancing, might need to be reevaluated or enhanced. It also puts a greater strain on healthcare systems if more people get sick more quickly, even if the disease isn't necessarily more severe per individual. Okay, let's shift gears from the microscopic to the very practical, your pantry. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, or the empty pasta shelves? Panic buying is a fascinating psychological phenomenon, but it's also incredibly unhelpful and stressful for everyone involved. One of the best ways to sidestep that entire chaotic scene, should we face another wave of infections or even just heightened public anxiety, is to prepare a 2-week emergency food kit. This isn't about doomsday prepping, it's about sensible planning that gives you peace of mind and makes life easier during a potentially disruptive time. The idea is simple. Have enough non-perishable food and essential supplies on hand to comfortably get your household through 2 weeks without needing to make a frantic dash to the grocery store. This not only reduces your potential exposure if there's a surge in cases, but also helps stabilize supply chains by preventing those sudden, overwhelming demand spikes. Think about what you normally eat and try to stock non-perishable versions. Canned goods are your friends here. Vegetables, fruits, packed in juice, not syrup if you're watching sugar, beans, lentils, tuna, or chicken. These items have long shelf lives and provide essential nutrients. Beyond canned goods, consider staples like rice, pasta, oats, and quinoa. These are calorie-dense and versatile. Now let's talk about something that often gets overshadowed by the immediate concerns of infection rates and hospitalizations, but is profoundly important: long COVID. This is the term used to describe the situation where people continue to experience symptoms for weeks, months, or even, as we're learning, years after their initial COVID-19 infection, even if that initial infection was mild. It's a complex and often debilitating condition that we are still working hard to fully understand, and its global impact is staggering, truly staggering. Current estimates suggest that hundreds of millions of people worldwide have experienced or are currently experiencing long COVID. Think about that number for a moment. It's like the entire population of a large country. We're talking about potentially 400 million individuals globally grappling with persistent symptoms. These aren't just trivial complaints. Common symptoms include profound fatigue that isn't relieved by rest, brain fog or cognitive difficulties, trouble concentrating, memory problems, shortness of breath, chest pain, joint pain, and a whole host of other issues that can affect nearly every organ system. Alright, let's talk about something you can do proactively, every day, to support your immune system: vitamin D. Now, vitamin D isn't a magic bullet, and it's definitely not a replacement for vaccines or other public health measures. But there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that maintaining adequate vitamin D levels can play a helpful supporting role in our body's ability to fight off infections, including respiratory viruses like the one that causes COVID-19. And the good news is, getting enough vitamin D can be surprisingly simple and inexpensive. One of the best and most natural ways to get vitamin D is through sunlight. Our skin actually synthesizes vitamin D when it's exposed to UVB rays from the sun. For many people, just about 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight exposure on their arms and face, a few times a week, can be enough to significantly boost vitamin D production. Of course, this depends on factors like your skin tone. Darker skin produces vitamin D more slowly, and where you live, like less UVB in winter or at higher latitudes, and the time of day. But a little bit of sensible sun exposure can go a long way. We've already touched on how vaccines are crucial for preventing severe acute illness from COVID-19, even with new variants. But there's another incredibly important benefit that we need to talk more about: the significant role vaccines play in reducing the risk of developing long COVID. This is a game changer because, as we discussed, long COVID can be a debilitating long-term condition, and anything we can do to lower our chances of experiencing it is a massive win. The data on this is becoming increasingly clear and compelling. Several large-scale studies have investigated the link between vaccination status and the likelihood of developing long COVID, and the findings are really encouraging. For instance, research has shown that individuals who have received 3 doses of an mRNA vaccine, so typically 2 primary doses and a booster, can see their risk of developing long COVID cut by as much as 69% compared to those who are unvaccinated and get infected. That is a substantial reduction. Alright, let's get really practical with a simple, low-cost hack that can significantly boost the effectiveness of a common protective measure: your cloth mask. We all remember the early days of mask making and the debates about which materials were best. While high-quality N95 or KN95 respirators offer the best filtration, they're not always accessible, affordable, or comfortable for everyone for extended wear. For those times when you're relying on a cloth mask, there's an easy way to improve its performance: adding a DIY filter layer. The concept is straightforward. Many cloth masks, especially the simpler 2-layer cotton ones, might not be super efficient at filtering out the smallest aerosol particles that can carry viruses. By adding an extra layer of a specific type of material, you can enhance its filtration capabilities. And the material we're talking about is something you probably already have in your house: a simple facial tissue. Yes, like the kind you blow your nose with. It sounds almost too simple to be effective, but it can make a noticeable difference. In an era where information is constantly at our fingertips, it makes sense to leverage technology to help us navigate potential health risks, and that includes COVID-19 outbreaks. There are now numerous apps and online dashboards, many of them free and easy to use, that provide real-time or near real-time data on local COVID-19 case numbers, trends, and even potential hotspots. Using these tools can empower you to make more informed decisions about your daily activities and take appropriate precautions based on the current situation in your specific area. Think of these apps, like the WHO COVID-19 dashboard or various national and local health department trackers, as your personal, localized risk assessment tools. They aggregate data from official sources and present it in an accessible format, often with maps, graphs, and trend lines. This means you don't have to go digging through dense government reports. the key information is summarized for you. So there you have it, 7 hacks and facts to help you feel more prepared and less anxious about the what-ifs of COVID in 2025. We've covered everything from understanding new variants and the long-term impacts of long COVID, to practical tips like stocking your pantry, boosting your mask's effectiveness, and using tech to stay informed. The goal here, as always at FactJoy, isn't to predict the future with a crystal ball, because let's be honest, science doesn't really do that. Instead, it's about understanding the possibilities and equipping ourselves with knowledge and practical strategies. These hacks and facts are designed to keep you safe, to empower you to make informed choices, and to foster a sense of agency in a situation that can often feel overwhelming. Preparation is a continuous process, not a one-time checklist, and staying informed is a key part of that. We hope you learned something new today, something that you can implement in your own life or share with the people you care about. The world is a complicated place, but understanding bits of it, piece by piece, makes it a little less daunting. If this video helped you, please give it a like. It really helps us know what kind of content you find valuable. More importantly, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your top tip for staying prepared, or what's one thing you learned today that resonated with you? And of course, if you want more hacks and facts to navigate our complex world, make sure you subscribe to Hack and Fact by Hank here on FactJoy. Stay curious, stay informed, and DFTBA.